into those routines and those habits. So the intention of today's meditation is to relax into the body and to release the tension that you're holding on to. And I'll be guiding you through that. So the mantra that I'm going to offer you today is relax, release, allow. This is something that at any point, if you need to anchor yourself into the present moment, if you need to anchor yourself back into this practice because maybe you got lost in your thoughts, if you're doing this on your phone or on your computer, maybe a notification popped up. It's a good reminder to turn that off if you can. And also, the children upstairs will absolutely be making noise. So we are going to make that as much part of our practice as possible because I can't do anything about it. I have been practicing patience with them for about a year, and they're kids, so you can't really get mad at them having fun. So I extend that to you. I hope that you can allow them to give you a chance to practice patience. And with all meditations that I lead, they have the core focus of mindfulness. And mindfulness, for those of you that don't know, is moment-to-moment awareness. Moment-to-moment awareness. So awareness of how you're feeling in this moment, what you're thinking about, what you're doing, the energy you're showing up as and you're giving off to other people. And mindfulness can even extend to your environment. So mindfulness is a reminder that even if we don't like what's happening right now, the noise upstairs, we accept it without judgment because that is what's happening right now. You can label that as uncomfortable. You can label that as a disruption. And you can even label it as something you'd rather not be happening. But those labels don't change the fact that it is happening. And that kind of brings us to the intention of this practice today. For those who are in the education system, for teachers, for students, for literally beyond the education system, but just anybody who is in a position, in a career, in a lifestyle that you are extending your compassion and your awareness to other people. You're caring for others, you're serving others. And this meditation is a nice dedication to you to remind you that you have to come home and transition. You have to come home, and even if you work from home, this is probably extra tough for you because that line is a little blurred of boundaries of when to leave work and when to go home because it's all under the same roof, right? So especially for people who are working from home, but for people who are transitioning back into the world, back to work, back to school, back to a routine of habits of whatever it is, you have to allot yourself time to transition into the season that you're in, transition from one place, maybe it's work, to another place, maybe that's home, and recognize that it's important to put stuff down. It's important to let go and release what you've been holding on to. Because work Sabrina is very different from home Sabrina. So if you're a teacher you is very different from the you that you are when you get home. And it's important to kind of recognize what you're bringing home with you physically. There's so many mental tabs that we don't necessarily even recognize or open. We just kind of think, well, this is on my mind, but it is open and you can close it. But the way to close that is not to just tell yourself, stop thinking that. And it's not always to find a solution. The way that I'm going to instruct you today to release those stories or those thoughts or those things that didn't work out or just stressful stories that your mind keeps reminding you of from today, from the week, from the month, ground into the body and recognize like your mind doesn't have all the answers. We think a lot, but thinking is not the way to solve, right? And If we are having an issue with our mind and our thoughts are the problem, and they're not disciplined and they're running everywhere and they're causing us stress, then maybe it's time to look for a solution that's not in the thinking mind. Maybe it's time to look for a solution in the body. So that's what I'm going to lead you guys through today. For those of you tuning in, there will be surprise guest noises from my neighbors upstairs. I've repeated this a few times already, but I'm not sure who's joining in now. They're young kids, and I offer you to use this as an opportunity to practice patience like I have been, because it would be kind of silly to tell kids to stop playing or, be quiet at 5 o'clock on a Friday. So if you hear them, I hope not. I did tune my mic to just hear me. But you never know. You never know. So I want you guys to get comfortable. If you've never meditated before, welcome. Welcome. If you've never meditated before or with me, I'm so happy to have you here. I lead a mindfulness meditation, which means first and foremost, we practice mindfulness, which is awareness of the present moment, moment-to-moment awareness. Meditation is not at all, at least I'll speak for the meditation that I lead, is not at all about clearing your minds. That's silly. There's so much in there. And to start this practice by trying to clear it would only create more resistance and more things going on in your mind. So be aware of the fact that your mind's going to be all over the place, especially if you're not tuned into this and you have other things other tabs open, you're doing other things. Just be kind to yourself, recognize that your mind's going to be all over the place. And your job is to gently remind yourself to come on back. Okay. So the mantra that we're going to be using today is relax, release, allow. If it's not really jiving with you, you could choose something else. But the main reason I chose that is because we're going to relax into the body. We're going to release some tension and some stress, and we're going to allow ourselves to be. That's the purpose of this meditation. So at any point, if you're thinking about what you should have been doing or what you've got to have for dinner or, the responsibilities you have tomorrow, relax, release, allow. Bring yourself back to this present moment. Bring yourself back to right now, on the cushion, on the mat, on the chair, wherever you are. Be as present as possible. Okay. All right. So I want you guys to choose a comfortable position. Sitting, lying down, as long as you don't fall asleep. And I want you to just take a moment to notice. This is strictly an observation. Just notice your breath right now. Notice whether you feel it in your stomach or in your chest. Notice if you can hear yourself breathing. Notice if it's coming in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just take a moment to recognize how the breath flows through the body. You can keep your eyes open, or you can gently shut them, whatever's most comfortable for you. And we're just breathing. Take a moment and settle into the idea that you don't have to do anything. You can practice being. And oftentimes that can be way more productive than busy work. Just sitting and observing the miracle of the breath flowing in and out naturally. Now I'm going to guide you to manipulate your breath a little bit. I'm going to ask that you inhale through your nose, and as you're doing this, expanding your belly outward. So imagine that as you inhale, you're filling your stomach up like a balloon. And then on the exhale, I want you to slowly let the air out of the balloon. Whether it's through your nose or through your mouth, whatever is most accessible to you right now. So let's begin. Breathing in. Your belly rises. And breathing out. Your belly falls. Inhale, belly rise. Exhale, belly fall. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fall. Inhale. Exhale. And now just let yourself breathe normally. No need to force or manipulate or change anything. And I want you to shift your focus to your body. Let's start at the top of the head. We've been thinking all day, and we're most likely thinking right now. That's okay. But that means your head is doing a lot of work. So let's soften up a little bit. Let's take notice of the tension in our face. Maybe you're clenching your jaw. Maybe your tongue is glued to the roof of your mouth. Maybe your eyebrows and your forehead are scrunched in the middle. I want you to take a deep inhale with me. And an audible exhale through your mouth. And let it all go. Let's do that one more time. See if you notice any muscles loosening up in your body. As we move down toward the neck, the shoulders, the chest. And using the exhale as a reminder to let go. Relax into the body. Moving all the way down, and let's become aware of our stomach. How's that feeling for you today? Moving down to the pelvic area, the hips and the lower back. Recognize how you're supported without even thinking about it. And continue to use the exhale as a reminder to let go of tightness, clenching, stress deposits in the body. And moving down to the legs. This is a perfect time to readjust, get comfortable if you need to. But do so intentionally, move mindfully. There's no rush. Let go of any clenching of your toes, of your butt. Just release. Notice how gravity's got your back right now. And you can just relax into your seat. into your body, into the present moment. And I want you to bring your attention to your breath once more and recognize how you didn't have to tell yourself to inhale and remind yourself to exhale. Your body just went ahead and took over for you. Before we continue this practice, let's send some gratitude to our body for all that it's done for us, even when we weren't paying attention. Awesome. So let's move on to the first word of our mantra today, which is relax. Ask yourself, how can I relax more deeply in this moment? Maybe it's a thought that you need to let go. Maybe you're still holding on to some tension physically. Maybe it's an event that happened this week or earlier today that you just can't shake. How can you relax more deeply into this moment, knowing you've done the very best you could today? We're not analyzing our best. And we're not focusing on what should have happened. We're relaxing into what is. And recognizing that that is plenty. That's enough. Let's take one deep inhale together. And on the exhale, allow yourself to relax as deep as possible. And let's move on to release. We've relaxed our body as best as we could. We've relaxed our mind to the best of our ability. Now ask yourself, what can I release from today? What am I holding on to that's too heavy? Maybe it's the idea that today could have gone differently. Maybe it's the feeling that you could have done something differently. Release reminds us that what already happened can't be changed. And focusing our attention and our thoughts on things that can't be changed just makes us feel heavy and not enough. So what are you willing to release today? What are you willing to let go of so you can be lighter and elevate? Maybe it's a good cry. Maybe it's a loud laugh. Maybe it's something physical that has to come from you. Whatever it is, be willing to release. Let's take a deep inhale together. Exhale and release. And Now let's move on to allowing. Allowing is passive. It's not an action that we take, but it is challenging. Allowing us to be ourselves as we are, allowing us to show up in our day the way we believe we need to, allowing ourselves to be rather than do. Are you willing to allow yourself today? To allow life to flow to and through you? To allow what didn't work out to just fall away? To allow yourself to be silent, be still, just be. Let's take a deep inhale together. Exhale and allow. In a moment, I'm going to ring the bell. And I want you to focus on the sound until it fades away. Allow this sound to solidify the intention and the work that you've put into this practice. And allow it to follow you long after this practice ends. Whenever you're ready, you can slowly begin to open your eyes. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, and just come back to the room. Notice your surroundings. And notice how you're feeling right now. You have just dedicated time to your well-being. That is never something to be taken lightly. But more importantly, we need to carry our intention, our practice. We need to carry it with us off the mat. When we're done with the meditation, when there is no one guiding us, when we're having a really tough day, we have to pull on the fact that we have these tools inside of us. And if something that I say resonates with you, if something that I do resonates with you, and it brings you peace or calm in some way, the only way that that's possible is because you recognize in me what is already in you. I just have the pleasure of having the job that helps you discover that thing, rediscover that thing. Because it's always a part of you. It's always on the inside of you. You've just got to cancel out those distractions long enough to remember that. So I hope you remember that. I hope that you remember that within you there is much peace and much calm. It's just covered by distractions and expectations and life. So don't let life cover your peace. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you want more meditations, I have live meditations on the app called Insight Timer, and I would love to do more of these live meditations. So If you like them, let me know. And I'd love to keep coming back, particularly for my teachers and counselors and therapists and social workers. I see you. I love you so much. And the work that you do is not for everyone. And so I recognize your uniqueness, and I thank you so much for the goodness that you spread in this world. Sending you all love and light, and I pray that you have the courage to choose peace today.